The Guardian, 14th of July 2023, part engineered by China, David Cameron's appointment to an investment fund. By utilizing bribes and blackmail, China has undermined numerous international organizations. According to the Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee, ISC, the Chinese government was partially responsible for David Cameron's nomination as vice chair of the £1 billion China-UK Investment Fund and Sir Danny Alexander's appointment as vice president of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. According to private information from the intelligence watchdog, their selection was intended to boost the credibility of Chinese investment in the overall Chinese brand. According to the committee, the strategy to usher in a golden era in Anglo-Chinese ties was at the core of Cameron's tenure as Prime Minister and Alexander's tenure as Treasury Chief Secretary. The watchdog criticized the choice as a gross misinterpretation of the Chinese government's intention to invest in the UK to give the Chinese Communist Party global technical domination. The ISC concluded that the UK's response to the Chinese threat was insufficient and noted that China had made significant economic inroads into the UK. Alexander is still the AIB's Vice President of Policy and Strategy. But since London and Beijing's ties swiftly worsened due to the repression of democratic movements in Hong Kong, Cameron's investment bank plan mainly failed. The committee heard from Lord Patten, a former leader of the Conservative Party, who stated, "I think they, China, probably think we are not wholly reliable useful fools. They likely see us as a business opportunity and a chance to corral us into doing what they want us to do through elite capture, the breeding of useful idiots, and the use of historical precedents like the golden age of British-China relations." After departing as the AIB's worldwide communications chief in June, Bob Picard created a stir on Twitter by writing, "Members of the Communist Party dominate the bank and also has one of the most toxic cultures imaginable. My country's membership in the AIB does not, in my opinion, promote its interests. Happy to be out of that swamp," he continued. "The bank's cards are in the hands of Communist Party hacks. They view some board members as helpful idiots. My country's government shouldn't be a part of this PRC, Chinese, organization. CCP holds power in the bank from beginning to end." After his resigned, the Canadian government cut off all links to the bank. Picard's views were deemed baseless and disappointing by the AIB, which also announced that it had accepted Picard's resignation. The bank, which has its headquarters in Beijing, was founded by General Secretary Xi Jinping to serve as a Chinese alternative to the World Bank and other multilateral lending institutions dominated by the West. Despite Washington's objections, the UK played a significant role in its development. In 2015, then-Chancellor George Osborne declared that the UK would apply to join the AIB. Later that year, the UK became the first G7 member and nation outside of Asia to ratify the AIB's Articles of Agreement.